Hello again, and welcome to another fine edition of 151. Sox, B-Sox, I don't know, whatever you want to call me, it don't matter. Of course, joined by Justin over here.
As always, I am Justin.
Yes, you are Justin. We got Andy Hall for another week.
Great to be back.
That is a splendid sweatshirt you got on, my
Thank
friend.
you very much, yeah.
It has turned off a little cooler.
It has. I mean, we're getting into the part of the year where it's fall, it's not so hot. I get to break out the Iowa Energy sweatshirt.
It's my favorite time of year, hooded sweatshirt weather.
Oh, yeah. Summer can...
I'm with you. I think if you read most opinions on weather on social media in particular, most people are very pro-summer.
Oh, everybody is.
And I don't understand it for the life of me. I can continue to put on layers. I can only take so many off.
Pro-fall, anti-winter.
See, I
Does
like
that make
winter.
any
That's
sense?
okay. Yeah, there's
I
nothing
love
wrong with
winter.
As January 15th, warm it back up, I'm done.
that. Yeah.
I want through the end of the year, January 15th, warm it back up. I'm ready for spring again.
Look, I'm from Minnesota where we have 4 definite seasons. 5 if you count construction season, but 4 definite winter, spring, summer, and fall. So there's a definitive change between 4 of them.
Yeah.
As opposed to more temperate
Can I
climates
get a
where it's
rim
2.
shot sound effect at some point?
I'll try and put one in
Okay.
post.
But anyway, so I appreciate that more than you even realize, the fact that there's such a difference between even fall and winter.
Well, at any rate, we're getting a little bit later in the year. Hopefully we'll have more shows to come as we, keep doing this, hopefully. This week we're going to go back in time a little bit.
To what, midsummer?
Yeah.
It was the month of May.
Was it? I thought it was June.
No, I'm pretty sure it was May.
God, I thought it was.
We had Laser Fest, and then Wizard World was like
Yeah, I think you're
right after that.
Yeah, it was right. It was,
It was
right
like
at
the
the end
next
of May,
weekend.
wasn't it?
Okay,
Pretty
so
sure it was.
earlier this year, and Justin and I, and Andy, you had to work more for our radio station.
Yeah, definitely different experience than we did.
Yeah, because it was, as you mentioned, the work capacity. Not only did I host a live broadcast out there on that Friday between 2 and 7,
Yeah.
but I also was asked to host a panel
Yeah.
with J. August Richards from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Very cool.
Which I had to explain to you about who he was. On
I
the
was,
show.
I had no idea. To be honest, I'd never watched the show before, but he came out on Friday to my broadcast. The Wizard World people hooked that up so we could meet beforehand because the panel was on Saturday.
Yeah.
So he came out and we met and we just started talking, and it wasn't really even about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Angel or any of the things he's done.
Yeah.
It was more about just like who we are as people, and it was a very cool. We got along immediately, so I knew he and I were going to be a good match. But at first, when Wizard World people first told me I'd be hosting, I go, he wasn't even on my list of like what I hope I could get, because you turn in a list of like who you really want.
Yeah,
and I
did
was
one
like,
too.
Jason Mewes for sure would have been a good one for me. Robert Englund would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Any of those.
Shatner. Let's just get that one out of the way right now.
Shatner would have been on the list.
So Andy, he was working at Wizard World this year. Justin and I, we got to go just as fans for a couple days. We took a video camera with us, which throughout this little broadcast, you'll see some of what we shot in this, and I got to tell you, man, that was cool.
It really was.
That's probably the coolest thing that hit Des Moines in a long time.
The shocking thing for me was the access. Obviously, these guys had their press passes.
Yeah.
And I obviously, as we've covered before, I'm the outsider looking in here. I had to buy my way in. The funny thing is I went on ahead and laid down the cash and did the VIP, the entry.
Yeah.
What I was shocked about was the fact that I had more access.
He did.
In a lot of ways. I could get in earlier. Like, I talked the guy at the gate into saying, hey, my buddy, can he come in with me? Because they were going to hold him up for another half an hour from hitting the floor.
And these were even security guards I know from working at the arena for the Iowa Energy. It's my shameless plug.
Real quick before we continue the conversation about your experience, I was totally wrong. It was Friday, June 12th through Sunday, June 14th. And the reason I thought it was May initially is because that's what they announced for 2016 is it's going to be in the month of May.
They moved it up.
That's where I got it mixed up. So it was June.
Yeah,
We still love you, Andy.
yeah, because it's going to be over Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, this is perfect. That's going to win me so many points.
Well, my wife's first Mother's Day was me at Laserfest this year. And a screaming kid all day, to which she was just hot when I got home. So
I guess next year it'll be you and I going.
no, I'll go Friday and Saturday again. But no, I got to tell you, I didn't know exactly what to expect going into the whole deal, because you hear about, like, you know, the panels and the meeting celebrities and stuff. And I know this is going to sound stupid, but working at the radio station, meeting celebrities has long since gone the way of, I don't care. You know, if I get to meet somebody, that's awesome. If I don't, it's not going to keep me up at night that, oh my God, I didn't meet, you know, the dude from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that.
Or the green Power Ranger.
Yeah.
There are very, very few people that are on my list. Now, and granted, I obviously, again, outsider working in, I don't have a lot of celebrity contact. I just find most celebrities frivolous people and don't have a lot of, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of use. But there are a couple on that list. Obviously, as shown with our experience here, that are on that list. And for this year, for me, it was Alex Kingston.
Doctor Who, right?
Yep. She was on ER. She's but currently on
Beautiful woman.
beautiful
Yeah, she
British
was.
lady.
I am such a fan of hers.
And Bill Shatner.
Yeah.
I mean, because him and Nimoy were on my bucket list, and obviously we lost Leonard Nimoy earlier this year. So, I mean, I knew at this point that I couldn't fart around anymore and say, you know, someday I will do this. I had to get after it.
Yeah.
Although there was a very good Leonard Nimoy lookalike within the
Yeah,
grounds.
He was.
That
yep.
dude,
He charged me $2 and I took a selfie with him.
I had the camera there and I was just getting shots for the station, you know, and shots for myself. And he was like, no pictures. So I went around the thing of ways that I got him, made sure I got him just to piss him off, because it just pissed me off. It's like,
He's there for the same reason everybody else is.
No,
though.
I
you know what
get
I mean?
that.
So
He'd make a buck.
I don't get angry even at the celebrities who are like, you know,
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno's famous for this.
But, okay.
He will not take pictures with you. Like, he does not do that.
let me ask you this, though. How sad was it seeing some of those celebrities where there wasn't anybody in line? Because I came around with
I'm trying to think of who was the most
Lou Ferrigno.
lonely. Ferrigno was pretty lonely. He had lines at times.
at times, but there was a lot of times that, like, when Justin and I walked back into the interview area, he had nobody, and he was just sitting there looking at his phone and all that.
He doesn't care. I mean, he got paid either way.
Yeah.
So it's
Exactly.
like, but, you know, it is kind of sad. I noticed, like, Ernie Hudson was
Yeah.
one that had empty lines at times. And I'm like,
Yep.
do people not understand how brilliantly cool Ernie Hudson is, first of all? When you can do Winston Zeddemore and the guy from Hand That Rocks the Cradle, you're a pretty talented actor. I love the guy.
But okay, by the same token, as a guy going in and out, you know, honestly, by the time I got my tickets, and like I said, I spent a little more up front on the VIP.
Oh, sure you
stuff.
did. Yeah.
Got to go meet Alex Kingston. Got to go get, you know, the picture and the autograph with Shatner. I mean, I got a wife and a kid. My funds are not unlimited. You
Oh,
know?
no, you
so
spent
it was
a pretty
it was
penny.
it was certainly a okay. Who am I not? So I mean, as compared to some of those others, Ernie Hudson, while an incredibly cool guy, I enjoyed the crap out of, you know, the media that I saw with him, the interviews, all that. I recorded the question.
Yeah, you did.
I think the only one.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's one
Are
of those.
you a god?
You got to ask that.
those radio.
But when
when
it come
some-
to ponying up to get in the line, I mean, I couldn't do it. So I mean, I understand a little bit of that empty line.
It was like $40 a crack for somebody like him, you know. Like,
Yeah,
what did you
Shaq-
say? Just out of curiosity, real quick, to Alex Kingston. What did you say to her? What was
Hello,
the?
sweetie.
Because I'm sure that's what she says to everybody. But like,
Well, no, because it was it was hi, I'm you know, I've been a fan for a long time, even before, you know, Doctor Who. It was a pleasure to meet you, and you know, I tried to keep it like a non-fanboy interaction, just like, you know,
You were a
meeting
fan.
you were
somebody.
playing, yeah, but you were
So-
playing it cool.
I was playing it cool, meeting
Yeah.
somebody on the
She's
street.
very endearing. Like it
Yeah.
seems to me, she's one. Remember the other day when I mentioned to you, I might not have been on the podcast. It might have been just conversation we had hanging out. But all anybody wants in this life is to feel important.
Yep.
And Alex Kingston is one of those people that gets that. And I think she makes everybody feel that way when they come through a line like that.
She made me, yeah. I think she was making everybody feel that way. I got a little of that, but it was a.
I mean, I went through a line out that she wanted to f me.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's
Kidding.
sweetie. I wouldn't have said no.
No, nor would I.
It
That
was
might have been on my list.
there were two things, and I can't remember what they are now that she would sign, and of course she said, well, do you want this or do you want hello, sweetie? And I said, of course I want hello, sweetie.
Yes.
I said, I just want to hear you say it. That was the extent of my fanboy interaction. I did tell her though, and I don't know whether, I guess my wife would agree to this or not, or agree with this, but don't go there. Is that I always felt after she came on Doctor Who that my wife was a little more inclined maybe to watch those episodes with me because, this was somebody that she'd watched on ER and was a fan of as well. But she said she was really happy if she made that happen. And it was just a very, very pleasant, non-rushed interaction.
And that's the thing. You don't want to go through those lines and spend that kind of money and feel rushed.
Exactly. And it wasn't that at all. It was a very, very organic interaction. It was far more than I was expecting, even there.
Going back, the thing that surprised me most about the Wizard World was actually the panels. And you brought it up with, what's her name from...
Jewel State.
Jewel
from
State.
Fire.
Jewel State. Yep.
A lovely, lovely, lovely woman.
Another one that you look
Sweetie,
at her.
I wouldn't say no.
Dude, you look at her in person and she's so stunning. Like you see her on TV and she's hot, but then you see her in person and you're like, holy hell.
But when we were, it was the second day that we went to the panels, and I had some trepidation about it because I was like, this sounds really boring to me. Mm-hmm. And we went in and we saw the girl from Firefly first, which, what was her name?
Jewel State.
Oh,
That's
Jewel
her.
State. Oh, I was thinking the Doctor Who.
Okay, yeah, we went.
Alex
We saw
Kingston.
That's
Alex
it.
Kingston. I think we saw Jewel State, then Alex Kingston,
And then it was Shatner.
and no.
Oh no,
Then,
it was
Then we sat through the train wreck that was the Billy D. Williams panel.
and that just jag-off guy that was his MC.
Oh, he was a Wizard World employee, correct?
No,
He was
he's
like-
Billy D's assistant. Or
Oh, Billy D brought him on himself.
Yeah, and
Okay,
he
that's why.
and he talked like this, and he did
made,
this.
He made fun of the crowd, and
Wow.
he just did everything. Like, you talk about alienating a crowd. You talk about trying to get a crowd hostile before your guy comes
Oh,
on.
that dude did it.
Oh, he did it in spades.
Can I brag for a second?
Sure.
So, though neither of you came and enjoyed my panel,
No.
which
Nope.
I hosted with J. August Richards from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Angel, and Good Burger, and lots of other things, Cosby Show years ago. It was a really good time, 45 minutes, all killer, no filler,
Yeah.
and I'm a Con TV app owner on
Yep.
my phone.
So am I now.
The J. August Richards panel, hosted by yours
No,
truly,
it's
featured
on
on
there?
Con TV. You
That's
have to be a
cool,
member
man.
to watch it, I think, but
Okay. I'll go back and check it out.
it's there. As opposed to Douchebag and Billy D, I don't see their content.
Dude, there wasn't
anywhere.
anything there, but I got to tell you that sitting through the lady from Doctor Who, like all of a sudden I'm like, this is awesome. These panels are the best.
Yeah.
That like the highlight, other than the William Shatner story, which we'll get to a little bit later on.
That's got to be a segment in itself.
This is why after San Diego Comic-Con, I have a folder on my desktop that's like I watch them over my lunch hour at work, and they're full of the panels
Yeah.
because they're just fantastic. It's stuff you don't hear anywhere else.
And they're all unique. Even
And-
though there are crutches that these celebrities will use from time to time in answering questions they get asked all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
there are questions that are asked at times that are very unique and require a unique response, and you'll get that only at your panel, which is so
Exactly.
cool. So, like, we relived that with J. August, for example. Like, it was cool.
And which was a lot of the issue that we had with the Billy D. Williams panel, because you had Jagoff up there.
Yeah, not in
taking this question that was sort of kind of related.
Well, he started.
and saying,
You remember he came out first and he said,
Oh, yeah.
"And we're not going to ask any stupid questions about the new
Yeah.
Star Wars or
we're not
anything
gonna,
like."
we're not ask about this. We're not ask about that. And then he would take a question and he would say, the audience question.
Hey,
would be,
what was it like being the mayor of Cloud City?
Yeah, he would tailor it to one of Billy D's canned
Well,
responses.
why don't we ask it like this?
Yes.
and he was like, I made
The
fun
king of condescending.
I made fun of him so much that these people were sitting by, so they got up and the one guy looked at me and goes, "So negative," and I'm like, the guy's an asshole.
So he was angry at you?
Yeah, for making fun of
The
that
other
guy.
guy in the crowd was angry at Adam.
But
The way it should be is the way that my panel went, which was all those people were there because they're huge fans.
Yeah.
And though I admitted to you guys and you gave me crap about it because I didn't have any real history with J. August Richards or any of the shows
no,
that
it
he
was
was
this
on.
one.
Okay. So anyway, despite that fact, I knew that everybody in that room was there because they're huge fans of him. I didn't
Yep.
make it
Yeah.
about me.
no, you're not supposed to.
I did do some back and forth with him to sort of warm
Yeah.
things up and give
You're
people an idea
facilitating.
of what good questions are, because I didn't want dumb questions either. But I didn't vocalize that. I
Yeah.
didn't say to the crowd, don't be an idiot. You guys are obviously dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why anybody would do that.
Because he had a special coat on too.
Yeah,
if I
it's
remember
very-
right.
yeah,
I
very
wish I would have
scary.
taken more pictures of that Jag-off so we could put up. But at any rate,
Kind of wish it was on Con TV, to be honest. But obviously, it's not good enough.
that guy. But no, those panels. That was a lot. That was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Like I'm glad. Like I went into it thinking, this is going to be. We're killing time. I'm going to burn out my phone looking at the internet or something.
And and let's face it, part of that you went there to be my buddy and support, and
Yeah.
and I'm glad you had a good time.
I got to tell you, I mean, the Firefly stuff was great. The Doctor, which I'm not even really a Whovian. I learned that day, by the way.
The Whovians.
The Whovians.
I have a picture of that coat.
Do you really?
I do.
Oh, you do. We'll have
I
to put
do.
that. You'll have to send that
I've
to
never
me.
seen this, so.
Yep. This is. I mean, Billy D's was spectacular enough, but yeah,
First of all, is that real hair or is that a rug?
It's real.
Yeah, it's gotta be real. The lighting's terrible, of course, but you can imagine that thing. I mean, it was
looks like a
shiny.
rug.
It was shiny. The
That
jacket.
that coat is.
Something else.
I mean,
Billy D. I had heard nothing but horrible things about. Going
And
One of our
Billy D
assi-
came dressed as a '70s pimp, and God bless him. Why wouldn't he?
That's fine. But
Our-
personality-wise, I heard he was.
one of the stations that I know got an interview with him. They hung up on him
Yeah.
because it was such a poor interview, that it was so bad that it wasn't. You know how you interview some people sometimes, and it's so bad it's kind of funny.
Yes.
It's like you just
My
start
darling.
asking.
Oh, she's so gorgeous.
Just start asking really stupid questions, you
yes.
know, or whatever.
If somebody ever does that to me, I do a lot of interviews, and if I
Yeah.
feel like it's not going well, I'll start asking really asinine, stupid
Yeah.
questions. I will, just to piss them off.
And I don't know what the point was of this. What was the hell?
we
was
were
I-
talking about douchebag
Yeah, I know, but I was going
and
somewhere.
Billy D and his horrible radio.
Oh yeah,
interview.
yeah. Sorry, I completely brain farted there. I don't know what
Wow.
happened. The brain just shut off. No, it was so bad that it went past laughable too. We just hung up. We're not going to use it. We're not going to do anything with it. We're just hung up.
And judging off the panel, I can see
That
why.
panel sucked, man.
It was terrible. I mean, all it did was make us that much more eager for the magnificence that
Although-
was William Shatner.
Although, real quick before we get to Shatner and just train wreck, the guy that thought Billy D was Apollo Creed.
Yes, and how it was Carl Weathers and what he was like, what it was like filming Rocky. That was a masterpiece of question.
that
and I
was-
can only assume
Was it a plant?
No.
that the guy knew exactly what he was doing. I still
That's what
kind
I
of
think.
think the guy knew
Oh.
exactly what he was asking.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
A plant in terms of he planned that.
That was, if he did, that guy's the most brilliant man on the face of the earth.
Because he had like 3 movies, like everything was it better in Brian's Song, Empire Strikes Back, or Rocky 2? And it was just
But the look on douchebag's face,
oh, it's great.
not Billy D, but the other guy, he just. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Do
the
you
other
mean-"
guy is obviously getting paid to respawn
filter,
for Billy
yeah.
D. That's
So
what that is.
no, we had moved up from where we had been sitting to these seats for Billy D. We waited for William Shatner, which was he finishing off the day there, or was there another one afterwards?
I think there was another one afterwards, but we were done.
That was
Yeah.
like a late afternoon, early evening,
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
if
like
I remember right.
like a 4 o'clock. It might. You're right. It might have been the last one in the Grand Hall. Excuse me
But
for that
so
day.
Did you see Shatner at all?
Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. I had other things going on that evening, so I had to leave. I hosted the panel, and then I had to go.
Okay.
But I did get to interview him on the radio, so there's that.
Oh, that's right. You did, didn't you?
Yes.
I did.
I forgot about that.
How could you forget about that?
I'm just not think. I forgot what we were talking about 2 seconds ago.
We're just going to glance right over that part.
Yes, Andy got to meet or interview the great William Shatner.
Well,
There's a story behind that too, but maybe for another time.
I figured we could actually go through in the trifecta that was the Shatner experience, our panel, his interview, and then our experience.
Well,
my follow up interview?
What's the
or a follow up experience with the autograph? There it is.
Okay. What was the one you were talking about?
What, the interview with him?
No, the story with it. What?
I had an experience on Twitter with William the night before our interview.
I remember. I thought you were going to talk about how we almost got the chance to interview him.
No. The interview was given to me, and it was like awesome. I was stoked because I grew up on Star Trek, and I also watched William on so many different things.
TJ
Rescue
Hooker?
911, TJ Hooker, you name it. All the way up to his Travelocity commercials or whatever.
Priceline.
Priceline, yeah. Sorry, William.
Well, there goes another sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now Travelocity will come on board. It'll be fine. It all balances out. But anyway, so it was the night before the interview, and I'm really excited, and I can't sleep. It's after midnight, and I'm not tired. I'm wired.
Yeah.
Knowing the next day I'll be talking to the great William Shatner. So on Twitter, and I think I did it on Facebook too, but on Twitter I put out there, how am I supposed to get any sleep, knowing that I'm talking to the great William Shatner tomorrow? It says essentially what the tweet said. And of course, because I'm an avid, tweeter, I use the @William Shatner.
Yeah,
and I tag him on it.
Of course you did.
Not thinking
Yeah.
in a million years with his million followers that he would ever see it, let alone respond.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did he see it, he responded. I heard my phone go off. I hadn't fallen asleep yet. I wasn't tired. But I heard my phone go off, and it was the noise it makes when I have a notification on Twitter. I look at it, and it's William Shatner tweeting at me. Well, we don't have to do the interview. It was hilarious. And so I tweeted him back like, oh my God, I'm so excited to talk to you. Like, total fanboy. It was hilarious.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to hold it get together in front of Alex Kingston, and he's melting down on Twitter.
For everybody to see.
Yes.
So anyway, that happened. And the next day, I call his office or whatever.
Yeah.
The agency or whatever.
Yeah,
to connect the call. And the gal that answers the phone, she answers the phone, and I say, hi, I have an interview with William Shatner. And she goes, is this Andy Hall? And I go, why, yes. Yes, it is. And she says something like, I heard you and Bill had a little back and forth last night on Twitter.
That's funny.
So everybody must have known about
Yeah.
this. Like, I don't know how, but William must have said something to
He
somebody
must have
like,
gone in and been like, hey, this jackass couldn't sleep last night.
right. And that, it's good for his ego.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that's great. I'm glad I got to feed that. That's nifty.
And I think that came through in that interview because
And
that was
Right
pretty
off the bat,
dynamic.
he makes reference to the to the fact that I must not have got enough sleep last night, and it just was hilarious from then on out. You're given, what did I get, 10, 11 minutes with him or whatever, and it's never going to be enough. I mean, I could spend weeks talking to him.
No,
about, you don't focus on his career. You don't ask about Star Trek. You don't ask about all those things. You just talk.
You say, here's William Shatner, and
Go.
I'm going to get out of his way and let him go.
Do you like that about the interview?
That was one of the best. I've seen so many interviews with Shatner over the years, and all of the best ones, and yours was one of them, in my opinion, because you can't get in the way of Bill Shatner.
He's
Give
talking
him the
about
rein,
something,
let him go.
and it's totally entertaining. I'm not going to bring that to a screeching halt when we've got all this momentum and go like, so what was it like, green chick?
Yeah,
Like I'm not going to do that. Like we've got all this great momentum build up, and and I'm sure he appreciates the fact that I'm letting him speak and say what he's going to say. It was perfect in that manner for me, anyway, and I'm glad that came across too.
It totally did. It was
awesome.
It was like I told you that a couple days later, I had to go back and because I missed it live,
Yeah.
which I was all jazzed for, and go back and check it out. And I mean, it was at the end of it, I went back and listened again because it was just thoroughly entertaining from beginning to end.
Thank you.
William Shatner.
Which we found out the same thing on his panel. I mean, yes, there were some questions, but mostly this was an hour of Bill just getting up there and going.
The thing about William, and I had told some people that hadn't seen the panel to kind of know, if he's telling a story, but instead of, like, if it was to, the story was to start here, walk across a room, that's the end of the story, right? Bill Shatner tells the story where he goes up the stairs, outside, walks around the garden, comes back in, goes upstairs, goes, out the front door, comes around, goes to the grocery store, and then comes back to the house, walks in, does a couple more laps, then comes down, and all of a sudden there's
Rides
the end of the
3
story.
horses.
Yeah. At one point, there, I forget what he was talking about, but I looked at Justin and I go, the fuck is he talking about?
Because he'd started a story, and 15 minutes later, we get to the end of it. And, I mean, you talk about a guy, I always thought I was bad in giving an incredibly long answer to what could have been a very short one.
Yeah.
This dude has it down to a science.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, the funniest moment of the entire panel was he spent answering a very simple question, what's it like coming back to Iowa? He spent 15 minutes talking about his little trip down to Riverside and the practical joke that he played with
He has
Invasion
to talk
Iowa.
about Invasion Iowa.
Yeah, he spent 15 minutes on it.
Thank God he didn't do that to me.
Very first question of the actual guys getting up to the microphone and talking about this after he gets done with this 15 minutes of story is, did you know that Riverside was your birthplace and have you ever been there? And there's just 30 seconds of silence while about 15 seconds the crowd starts to titter a little bit, laughing at this guy. And he's just like, have you not been listening to the last 15 minutes of the story? And laughs the guy out of the aisle. It was great.
If I'm that dude, I just turn around, walk out the building. And
That's a
leave.
mic
Yeah.
drop right there.
It
Yeah.
is. It
That's
was
a total mic
totally.
drop.
I mean, just the dumbfounded look on. I mean, him and I are looking at each other, going, "What just happened? Did we have a stroke?"
What just happened was somebody just totally blew their one opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. And I knew I only had my one opportunity, and I was so nervous that I was going to do that, like blow
Yeah.
it. But thank God I didn't.
No, yeah, but that was entertaining. The first half was entertaining. The second half, when he started getting into his other projects and
Yeah.
that motorcycle show
motorcycle
or
thing.
whatever, it was kind of like, we should probably leave. But we stayed till the end, and all of a sudden he wrapped it up, and it was like, he's gone. It's like, what happened?
He just beamed out.
Yeah. You know what one of my weird dreams is? I'd love to do one of those panels. Like, actually be the guy that's, talking and being asked questions.
I think Chris Hardwick has pretty much beat us to that, unfortunately.
I mean, wouldn't that be cool, though, to be able to sit there and, do that, or have people just ask you off-the-wall questions? I'm sure it gets old after a while or whatever, and there's probably a downside to it, but that's...
I've thought about that because what we do
Uh-huh.
is we do a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
Morning show, you guys do a lot of interviews. I do a lot of artist interviews.
Yeah.
And then like things like Shatner. But we never get asked
Nope.
anything. So to be able to turn the tables like that would be so cool. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, like that is one of my goals in life is to get to the point where somebody actually wants to interview me.
It's
that would be
happened
cool.
one time for me,
I
and it was for the Grandview newspaper.
I kind of
Whatever.
feel like I'm sitting here with the opportunity to interview you two right now.
Oh, jeez.
Well, if there was anybody I would feel safe with asking these questions.
You have to remember that we're all buddies.
Yeah.
But I have people who know me who think I'm cool for no other reason
Oh, shut up.
than I know you guys.
See, I think that's so ridiculous. Like,
Look, having met you, so do I. But
yeah, you should.
but no, I'm
know me
serious.
better.
There are mornings when I get phone calls and text messages because him and I have done something stupid over the weekend, and I get a mention, and there are people that are like, "Oh my God, it's on the local radio. He's a mini celebrity," and think of you guys that way all the time because that's your job.
But you're a celebrity now because you're doing a podcast.
Exactly. I'm doing the 151.
Exactly.
Making your own celebrity.
Which you can follow us on Twitter at 151 the show.
That wasn't awkward at all. Awesome.
No, not
nice
at all.
little segue there, I guess.
Exactly. So
That was a nice way to deflect.
no,
But I think you're absolutely right. I mean, that kind of panel, especially with, I mean, you get the have you been to Riverside questions, but you also get the really creative, wow, nobody's actually ever asked me that before kind of stuff. I mean, and again, it's the reason that I watch these panels off of YouTube and everything else, because you hear stuff and see interaction that you would have no other idea.
Well, I think the goal when you do an interview of any significance, number one, is to go ahead and hit whatever is the current reason why you have them in the first place. So go ahead and get that out of the way, and then you ask all the things you want to ask.
yeah.
And the
Oh,
goal,
it's the plug and then the
yes,
and that's how you
always
get
get the
more
plug. Start with the plug and wrap up with the plug, and anything else in the middle is fair game,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. Unless they tell you not to ask about something, but very rarely does that ever happen. So when you're talking to somebody of any significance whatsoever, the goal is to try to avoid all those questions you think they're asked all the time. You want somebody you're interviewing to go, wow, that's a really good question.
Yep.
I've had a few of those where people like stop and can't really come up with a canned response because they've never been asked that in that way before.
Oh, I got to
you know?
think about that, or
That is the best. That's when you know you have completely succeeded in what you've done.
or you've asked it in such a way that they look at you like, I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
well, there are times that happens too. You know, maybe it's a little too wordy, or you
Yeah.
know, and you have to think about all those things on the fly because
Yeah.
you know sometimes you'll have pre-prepared questions.
Yeah.
But you'll also want to let the flow of the conversation go
Yeah.
somewhere. You don't want to sidetrack it like we said with the Shatner interview. You know, it's the same thing.
Like if I could go back to the Jewel State interview, what I would really should have got up and there and asked, and there was a couple of opportunities. If I just got off my butt, I could have made it up there.
Should have done it.
Feet were hurting
Who
though.
Had the biggest surprise potty mouth in the cast of Firefly?
Wow.
I mean, I want to find out that Gina Torres's favorite word is
The F word.
The F word.
That'd
you know.
be so great.
That and I mean, and maybe it's her, maybe it's Jewel State. Who knows?
Would Jewel be comfortable? And you have to gauge. Would she be comfortable enough throwing one of her castmates?
I think
under
so.
the bus.
Yeah.
in
Well,
a
she did
public
it with
forum?
Josh Whedon. She told a story about some other Comic-Con in Europe.
Yeah,
or
where
something.
they got drunk and went dancing.
Yeah, they
Wow.
went and
At the con.
Whedon.
Wow.
He tried to. He was like, "Let's get disguises," and he wrapped a shirt around his head or something. And they said that it was really cool because once they show up, everybody knew who they were.
That's pretty
And they
sweet.
just let them party
Yeah.
because they were Firefly people at the time.
They were brown coats.
Yeah,
That's way cool.
but no, I just thought about that a lot. I was like, man, that'd be cool to be able to get up there and do that. But in that part of Comic-Con was way cooler than I thought it was going to be. I mean, that was easily probably one of my favorite parts of that whole thing.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the floor is the floor. I mean, you're at a big shopping mall,
Yeah.
basically.
I thought it
mean,
was fun just to
it's-
do. I mean,
it's-
walk around and
yeah,
see
no,
things.
no,
I bought some
absolutely.
artwork. I mean,
Absolutely. I'm not saying that it wasn't fun at all. It was absolutely a blast.
You have to be careful, though.
We've got some great pictures with that FX maker with the Hulk and
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
the cosplay people walking around.
Which-
was fantastic.
Was there not a lot of good-looking women at that? I expected more. I'm going to be quite honest with you.
well, I mean,
Thor, the Lady Thor, and Poison Ivy, I think. Yeah, they were pretty good.
Yep.
I was expecting more.
there was a lot of unattractive people in cosplay. And, you would hope that those would be the people that would be completely covered and with masks
Nope.
on. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. They were
Was it the
skimpy
Green
outfits.
Hulk, the Lady Hulk, She-Hulk?
Yeah, I think so.
I want
It
to say
was-
there were. Listen, God bless her for
Or it was a very unattractive Orion slave girl. But I mean,
Yeah.
you know
I
what?
just
God
what?
bless him for trying anyway.
Yeah, because I'm not one to talk here.
Yeah,
but-
I'm not exactly stripping down and going as He-Man here.
Well, and that's the point.
Tubby
You
out of
didn't
shape,
do
you
that to everybody.
That'd be kind of awesome though. The He-Man costume.
Tubby out of
The-
shape He-Man.
I saw some really good cosplays, though, to the people's credit, whether they were attractive or not. But, there were some really good
No, there were
ones.
some good ones.
serious
One-
work.
My favorite ones, a couple of my favorite ones were like the Spy versus Spy. Did you see that
Yes,
one?
I did.
How
Yeah.
awesome was that to bring those characters
It's
to
good.
life? That was
Good.
old Mad magazine stuff,
Yep.
like years ago.
Did you see Tubby Darth Vader?
Yes. Oh my God. So good.
It's like, wow, Darth.
So good.
Let yourself go, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
And, it's always fun to see, the simple ones like the stormtroopers. and
Yeah.
things like that running around.
The dude that was Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes. Oh my God. Probably one of the best
Yeah.
overall.
You know what? One of the ones I saw that was really cool was a guy came as Logan Wolverine, but he was in like the leather coat and wife beater, and had like the cigar hanging out of his mouth. That was one of the better because it was so simple. It was good.
Look, it's like the year for Halloween. I went as Tony Stark. I didn't go as Iron Man. I went as Tony Stark.
Did you ever see that?
Big difference.
I put on a suit. I trimmed my facial hair, and I had a $5 one of those tap lights for under the counter that I cut out that I laid over an arc reactor. I put it under my shirt, put on the suit that I own, and I was Tony Stark.
So cool.
It was one of the best
It was
costumes I've
just
ever seen.
Completely subtle. That's the way that I love a good cosplay.
It's funny you say that because before cosplay was even really much of a thing, and it's become a big thing over the past 5 years or so.
Especially out in the San Diego one.
Yeah. I mean, I used to, just for like Halloween, if we'd be doing something for the station or something, I would just find one item that would make a whole costume.
Yep.
And that was really kind of my forte.
Yeah.
And so when you say that, like, that was me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. I appreciate the creativity that goes into taking one or two small things. Like the Tony Stark thing is brilliant. Who else thought of that?
I still like the year.
I've seen a few since, but at that point in time,
Nobody.
I had never seen it.
No, you did. That's what I'm saying. It was completely original.
Yep.
Totally cool.
I will say, though, the Rock and Roll Reaper I went as one year was pretty cool. Leather pants, like a school shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a list of all the careers I've taken.
Nice.
Killed.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Like, that was pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
going to pat myself on the back for that.
Why not?
As we're getting a little long in the tooth here on 151, you can follow us at Twitter, 151 The Show.
I'm showing off my tooth.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, before we run out of time,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we've got to go back and finish up with Shatner because we saw the panel, you did the interview,
Yep.
and we went. Adam and I went and had our picture taken with Bill Shatner.
Yeah, which we'll put. I'll put it up.
We'll put it up, and we'll put up the autograph version. I'll tell the autograph portion of it first.
Okay. Tell it.
So, the next morning after we have the autograph done, I go back, or after I have the picture done, I have the picture, me and Adam with William Shatner. I'm like, I'm going to take this and I'm going to have him autograph this because it's like, what do I've got books he's written, I've got all this stuff. I'm like, what should I do? I'm like, obvious, I should take this back, get this done. So I go through, and I'm terrified as I get up there because as we've been standing in line, Adam's told the story that we're about to tell here shortly. And the guy in front of me keeps telling me he's going to rat me out, which I'm at this point a little bit apprehensive about. But I get up there. He looks at the picture, as you probably have seen already. We've flashed it up, or we're putting it up now.
Yeah.
He says, well, obviously you're brothers. Which, obviously, we're not. But, by God, when Bill Shatner tells you that somebody's your brother...
Oh, you're his brother.
They're your brother. We're Bill brothers.
Oops.
But it was again, much like I had with Alex Kingston, very much a not...
he brought it up.
Forced. Yeah, he initiated it. It was not a forced. It was not a let's see how quickly I can get you out of here. It was very much a okay. Well, who do I make it out to? And I said, well, I'm Justin, and that's me, and that's Adam, and he's like Justin and Adam, and he's like, and in case you didn't know, I'm Bill. And signs it up, and he hands it, and he's like, I said, well, Mr. Shatner, it was extremely nice to meet you, and he said, hey, it was great to meet you. Thanks for coming out, and just as nice and pleasant as an interaction as you could have. It was not at all what I was expecting that factory line to be. Very, very nice.
So it makes you feel bad for what we did too.
It does. It made me feel extremely bad. I walked over to him. I'm like, we're terrible people.
So the story, and this is what we're going to end with this week on 151. When we were standing in line for the picture, it was going to be $80 to get a picture with Bill Shatner, right?
So could you split that cost, the two
That's
of you?
what we did.
Yeah,
That's smart.
because two people, it was whether it was one person, whether it was two people, it was the same money.
That's cool.
So I told him, all right, I'll throw down 40. So because I felt bad because he was spending money because
A lot of money,
he
yeah.
wanted to meet these people.
It's Bill Shatner, man.
I
Gotta
know.
cross it off the list.
So we go and we get in line and we're standing there and Justin says something to the effect of, "Boy, I gotta fart."
I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're in line. It's a terribly personal moment, but we've made a lot of story out of here several times. But you know, we're eating con food. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, man, I'm kind of gassy here. You know, but we're in a crowd of people. I said, but I'm gonna have to do it in the crowd here, because otherwise I'm gonna end up crop dusting William Shatner.
An idea was born.
And he looks at me, and I look at him, and I'm like, no, yeah, no, yeah,
Yes.
I could hear him too. Like,
yeah, because it's like, okay, he's like, how many people? Everybody can say they met him. How many people are going to be able to tell this story? And I'm like,
nobody.
Nobody.
I said that I think the thing that pushed it over, and for one of his heroes to like break like this so quick, I said, how many chances do you get to torpedo the captain of
Yeah.
the Enterprise?
yep, that's a pretty select.
and if you say
company.
no to that, you're just
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
So-
a pretty select company.
So we go up and we go to get our picture.
And he's like
That-
rubbing his stomach, like he's brewing right now, like he's
Yeah.
working it.
All I'm gonna say is this picture. That's the look of two satisfied men.
Yeah.
We torpedoed the captain of the
And
Enterprise.
then we got the F out of there. So, again, you can imagine my apprehension the next day after he's told the guys surrounding us in line.
I told everybody.
He's like, oh, I'm totally going to rat you out. And I mean, I literally thought I was going to walk up to Bill Shatner, put down that picture, and be like, you're the assholes who farted on me. I really, like, that was playing out in my mind's eye.
my God.
we did that to Bill Shatner, and
Which, that would have been an even more interesting interaction for this story.
Had that
let's,
been
let's
the
face
case,
it.
oh man.
that was a lot of fun. And I kind of feel bad because we did it right. And it's not like we sat on his lap and farted.
No, but you're right about the fact that to make something memorable with somebody that is so memorable,
yeah.
you did the only thing that is completely original and at the same time is completely
Terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, let's face it,
The word
it's
I'm
terrible.
looking for here is like worse than terrible. though.
Yes.
It's like it's a calamity what you did.
It is. It is.
I
it
mean,
is-
you don't fart on anybody. You were self-conscious about farting on random people you'll never see
exactly.
again.
And he
You were gonna
folded
relieve
like
yourself in the crowd.
origami.
And look, he's told this story on the air. Somebody that was involved with Wizard World knows this happened.
I'm guaranteeing it.
Like I'm and my picture's up there right with his on the website. Like I'm looking for, like, when I go to sign up for tickets next year to get denied.
Or that is the absolute last time William Shatner ever comes to Iowa.
And it's all our fault.
The people of Riverside will write you letters. They will send you a fruit basket because they didn't think of that.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Well, if William Shatner doesn't show up next year, Nathan Fillion, if you're watching, I promise not to do that to you.
No, him or Patrick Stewart would never do that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another great topic that maybe we can save for another time is who do you want to see on the 2016 Wizard World? I mean, we know it's coming, Mother's Day
Oh.
weekend here.
Sir Pat Stew would be fantastic.
My God. My God.
That's if that happens in radio ever, or if I get to,
I know you've been trying for so long.
if that would ever happen, that's the last interview. It's like it
Drop
doesn't.
the mic.
It's my career is over.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
going to do it for this week's version of 151. We hope you enjoyed. We'll hope you be back the next time we do this. So until then, good night.